Alright, today I'm going to do a test. I'm trying to get the rust off the top of this saw. What I'm using is rust-free rust and stain remover. I got it at Woodcraft. I think it was about $12. It says that it may spot cast iron, so I don't want to put spots on it, but I tried it on another piece of cast iron, and I'm not sure if I have spots or if it was just some of the staining that it didn't take off. But as you can see, this is pretty bad. Rusted, stained, and that happens from just sitting down the basement. So anyhow, let me get some of this on and we'll see how it works. It says if you have a really rusted area, which I consider, then spray it directly on the surface. Otherwise, you put it on a rag and wipe it off. And you don't want to get this on the paint either. It'll stain the paint. So let's put it on. All right. Boy, that's foul smelling stuff. Okay. Oh. Okay, now it tells you to use a Scotch pad on it. So, not steel wool. Problem with steel wool is that steel wool is steel and it gets into the pores of the iron and it rusts again. So, a little Scotch pad. Let's give this a try. I want to let it sit on here for a second, and I'm purposely going in the same direction so in case it does stain it or something, at least everything will be in the same direction. So I can see it's taking the rust off it. But I expected that because, as I said, I tried it on another cast iron surface, and it did remove the rust. It actually came out pretty good. Putting a little squirt on here, and then okay. This is the other item. You can see it. It cleaned it right up. It does give it a little gray tinge to it, though. And if it works on that, I'm going to hit the table saw with it too. So, anyhow, let me continue this. Seems to be getting the easy stuff off, but the really tough stuff along the edges, it's staying there. But it just takes a little more elbow grease. In the past, I've used random orbital sander with 220 grit paper on, and that does a pretty good job too. But you're sanding the cast iron. I don't know how good it is for that. So I've done that on items that weren't very expensive. Okay. Now, as I said, it seemed to have worked pretty well on the easy stuff, but some of this other tough stuff, it's taken a little longer. And I don't know, I may need a second coat on that. So, I'm going to wipe this first coat off. And see what's left. Okay. As you can see, it's taken off the easy stuff, but so far not the hard stuff. So Let me shut the camera down. I'll work on a little more, then I'll show you when I'm done. It took 99% of the rust off, but if you can see, there's a haze on it. And this haze does not want to come off. So I'm going to be doing some other stuff to it. But just keep that in mind if you decide to use it. It doesn't come out shiny like I had hoped it would. So I'm going to put some wax on it. I'm going to do some other things to it, and I'll show you what it looks like after I've worked on it a little more. But straight out of the bottle, it's not going to give you the finish that you're looking for. I ended up with a 320 grit on the random orbital sander, and now you can see that there's still the gray in here where I couldn't get the sander to, but it's starting to take a shine on, and I'm going to continue on it and see how much of a shine I can bring back to it. But it's a lot better than it started out, but you still have the swirls in the cast iron where it's gray. And I think that this product, this rust-free rust and stain remover, I think it has an acid in it, and it might be etching the surface a little too. So I'm going to continue on it, and hopefully I can get it looking like new again. Okay, after 2 coats of wax, it looks pretty good. There's still some areas in it that I couldn't get the rust out. Maybe if I had tried a little harder I could have. I still think it has a little gray tinge to it, but maybe it's just my imagination. But it looks a whole lot better than it did. I would say I would give the product maybe a B, maybe a B+. It certainly took the rust off it. It was very easy to use, and it looks a whole lot better than when I started. But as I said, what I don't like is there's still some gray in it, and it's in the grain itself, the grain of the cast iron. So I think it's probably because it is etching the metal a little. But I can probably get that out too with a little more work, but it's done. So that's the product review. Hope it helps somebody.